Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to Race 1 of our 2020 VRL F3 Season 5. I'm Ethan, I'll be your commentator today. I'll be solo for today, but I may have a partner in the future. So, we're just gonna try to get this lobby full, and we're gonna start shortly. Ugh. Hello AMCF. Yeah, we're just waiting on the last people to kind of fill in. Let me see. There might be a black border right now I'm hearing, so let me go and see if I can try and fix that real quick. Alright, hold on guys. We're just gonna have to do a bit of troubleshooting here, it seems like. I'm just in my settings right now. Trying to make it so you guys can see the whole screen. Let's see. Well, we got 13 guys in here, so 10 people in here. Wow. So yeah, I'm super psyched to kind of get this started. I'm just waiting on the go ahead here, but I think just give me a minute. I'm just seeing if we're good to start or if we're gonna wait for the lobby to fill up a bit more. Looks like we got 12 drivers in here as of now, but we will see. Oh, thanks, Virus. That's very helpful. I appreciate it. See, advanced settings and display message to spectators comments. Alright. That should, yep, alright, I think that worked, guys. Alright, drivers, I don't know how many of you are in here. I'll go to game chat in a second if some of you aren't in here, but I think we're good to go ahead and ready up and get this show on the road. So if you guys just, since I'm spectating, I can't start the race immediately, so we're gonna need people to ready up, and then I should have the option to start it. Alright. I'm gonna go into game chat and let them know. Hey guys, I think we're ready to start racing. So if you want to go ahead and ready up, we'll get the show on the road. All right, so I think they got the message, and our session's gonna go ahead and start in about 15 minutes here. So VRL F3 Season 5 is about to get started. here we go. Our season is underway here at Vietnam. A new track to F1 this year. Unfortunately, there will be no racing at it, so be interested to see how our drivers do. Of course, not actually seeing anyone race this track. I'm sure they've been putting on work in the time trials. But time trials only get you so much, and race situations are really going to be where you're going to see how fast you truly are. And look at that, we have a wet qualifying here. This is going to get interesting. I think our drivers are just getting their setup started, loading into the game. Got 18 minutes here in qualifying. Who is going to put in the first lap of VRL Season 5 Formula 3? Alright, looks like we got a car coming out of the garage here. It looks like it's going to be a Haas. It's going to be, it's going to be the Alpha Tauri of Custers. We're going to... Alright, we got all the cars coming out on the track. All of a sudden. Everyone coming out. Alright, we're gonna... oh, it is a Haas. It's a Haas of Virus. We're gonna ride along with him on his outlap. Gonna get a feel for this slippery surface. Of course, with these Asian races, it's always a risk of rain, especially in monsoon season. So, we'll see how these drivers navigate it. Looks like we have 6 cars out on the track right now. So about half the drivers are out on track. Yeah, AMCF says dry race. Yeah, and just about the opposite of a dry race here. Not full wet conditions, as we see all the drivers have the intermediate tire equipped, but anything could happen in these wet races. And we'll hope for a close one. You know, as... turn track map on. Oh, sorry, hold on, spectator menu. Track map is on. There we go. We're not gonna, no, we don't need the telemetry, but there we go. And it looks like Virus is going to be the first one to cross the line here, and he's going to start his first qualifying lap. This is going to be his banker lap here. We'll see how he does here navigating the surface. Now this first section is really tough here. This turn's going to tighten. Then you come out on the left. You got to be really careful on the power as he goes down this first straight. He's going to set a purple sector, but, you know, of course he will, seeing as he's the first driver on track. We have a yellow flag in Sector 3, car going slow, but might have been a Alpha Tauri there going slow, but BG24 didn't get in time. Oh, that's unfortunate, man. We'll get you in next week. Here's Virus in his Ferrari-powered Haas car. Of course, in real life, this team just scored its first points last weekend, using some smart strategy out in Hungary. This Virus brakes heavily for this right-hander here after this long straight. Another yellow flag in Sector 3. Looks like a car going slow, a Williams. But Virus navigates that nicely. He's going to hug the wall here. This final S section is really tricky. Especially in the wet, you don't want to get too hard on the power. You're going to go for a spin. Last 2 corners here for Virus. Looks like a good lap so far, no mistakes. Here he comes across the line. A 1:48.4 for Virus. Relatively quick time, but we'll see how the other racers do. Custer set to 1:50.8, more than 2 seconds off the pace. He'll be looking to improve that second time around. We're riding along with Milan Kutstra here. Very quick racer. He's on his out lap. Yeah, I sent invites to every racer, so if you still have one of your notifications, I think you'll start from the back of the grid, but with rain, could get interesting. We have a lot of people setting times here, and it seems like Virus, the first runner out there, is on provisional pole position after the first 7 runners by more than 2 seconds. So fantastic lap there for Virus. Junior comes across the line with the 152. Seems like a lot of cars in the 150 to 152 range, but Virus obviously been putting in work in that time trial mode because he is absolutely flying today. We're going to ride along on this full lap here with Milan Kutstra. Alright, he's going to begin his banker lap as he rounds his final left-hander. Across the line, away he goes. Here he goes through this left-hand, right-hand section. This tightening right-hander definitely reminds me of the snail section in China. Runs a bit wide, but he will correct and hit the apex there. On a dry race, he would have DRS here, but right now it's all engine power from that Honda-powered Red Bull Racing car. A purple first sector for Milan. He's flying here. As Kella will be the only one that hasn't set a time quite yet. All the other cars are on their in laps right now. Be curious to see if this session dries up by the end. This long back straight here from Milan Kutstra. Into this heavy braking zone in this left-hander. Down to first gear, one of the slowest corners on the F1 calendar this year, although obviously Vietnam not being raced at. As he enters his third sector, he's purple again. Milan is absolutely flying on this lap as he heads towards this tricky snake section. He's a little deep into that turn, but it looks like he'll be alright. Looks like we have a Ferrari off in turn 1. Looks like they're alright. As he rounds the final 2 corners here, he is accelerating to the line. It's not going to be a purple lap. It was looking so good at the beginning, but it's only going to be a 153 for Milan. I think that final sector really messed him up. Kella in the Mercedes, in the McLaren is going to be our last runner for this first set of laps today. Wow, as Custer's puts in a 1:48.9. Really competitive time. Looks like this track might be either drying out a little or just getting some heat into these tires, but these times do seem to be improving as the session goes on. Let's ride along with Kella here. Sorry, wrong button. On this full lap. If you hear that Mercedes engine, see how he navigates this section. This section has been really tricky for drivers today, but there's a lot of time to be gained if you really nail it. Of course, it is his out lap, so we'll just be getting a feel for this wet race. I'm sure the drivers are, you know, not too pleased with the wet conditions, seeing as this is a completely new track to most of them. But to be honest, this session does not look like it'll be drying out anytime soon. It is very, very wet. And here's Cal on his first flying lap here in Hanoi. Runs a little wide into turn one. It's alright, because if you compromise your line to that corner, you should be able to nail turns 2 and 3. A little squeamish on the back end there, but he corrects well. You navigate that section really well here, and as he heads onto the first straight, we'll see what the time is as he crosses that sector line. It's going to be a sub 30-second first sector, so good time, but oh my goodness, and Custer's I just snagged the fastest lap in the Alpha Tauri. New team, new track, no problem for Custer's. Looks like he's just on a second flying lap here. He's just going to keep it going. He doesn't need fresh tires. He's just going to keep going here. Really impressive stuff from Custer's. And Virus says, you know what? I'll take that provisional pole right back. These guys are really going at it here. It's fantastic to see. Separated by just over 1/10 of a second. Can I turn? Yes, I can turn on telemetry, of course. No ERS here for Virus. And he's going to throw away this lap here with a big old corner cut. Looks like he just went a little too deep into that section. But we're going to ride along with the other... Oh. Looks like this is just an in lap here for Custer's. This is Nick Verhaar's out lap. Many consider him to be a top candidate for the championship here. As of now, P7, so not terrible, but I'm sure Nick is definitely looking to improve upon that as he begins his second flying lap of the day. We'll see what the first sector time is as he approaches this hairpin spoon-like turn. It's a 29.3, so he's about half a second up on his personal best, which is a good sign for Nick. As we're approaching 5 minutes left in this session, drivers will have time for maybe 2 more laps. Yeah, Virus is probably on the wet setup because he is absolutely flying. Again, just puts in another purple lap. Really impressive stuff here from Virus. Virus just had a 146 on a dry setup. Wow, that's incredible. Great stuff there for Virus, and it looks like the entire grid is gonna have to play catch up here. Oh. Luke nicks the wall here. Nick nicks the wall, I suppose. Wonder if there's any wing damage here on that end plate. Oh, and he just slams into the wall in that third to last corner. I'm sure that end plate is deteriorating. Loss of downforce here. He's going to rub up against the wall again, but he puts in a 147. Wow. And that really shows the pace that Nick has. That was not the perfect lap at all. And it's still a really competitive time. It's just an in lap for him. We're We're gonna ride along with Jay Custers here in his outlap. It's just incredible that Virus is even able to find any grip. Yep, throttle control is going to be really important, of course, in the wet. Really impressive stuff there from Virus. And the drivers probably know more than me about the weather, because I was not able to view that, so maybe we're projecting that the track will dry out. But as of now, Virus is large and in charge. Go back to broadcast cam here. I'm sure the sound of that Honda engine is hurting everyone's ears. Yeah, I'm curious where the most amount of time, I mean, if any drivers are on the pits and can comment on this now, but what section of this track are you going to gain the most time on? Because it's equal car performance, the straights are going to be pretty even, so it's got to be those big braking zones that you're going to gain the time on. Whoever's bravest, last of the late breakers are really going to be benefited here, I think. Look at that view, that's fantastic with that big hairpin turn. The last sectors, yeah, that last, those high-speed corners are, you want to be brave, you don't want to lose too much speed, but of course if you're too heavy on the throttle, you're done pretty much. So drivers have to find that balance of power and precision here. And it looks like a decent lap here for Custers, but oh, he goes purple in that last sector. It's more than a decent lap. Let's see if he can grab that provisional pole position back. As Virus is on his out lap, we'll ride along with him as, oh no, Custers is in the wall. You can see his right front wing is heavily damaged, and he'll have to dive into the pits right now. That's really unfortunate because it was really looking like such a good lap from Custers. That's a shame. But this wet track will catch you out if you're not careful. As we're riding along with Virus here in his out lap, he's going to be careful to not make the same mistake that Custers did. Really slow over the curbing there. And let's see. This is going to be the final lap here for Virus. Oh wow, loses the back end there quite a lot. Same with the Williams behind him. Has Batboy crashed out? Is that why his name is like that? Yeah, I think Batboy is DNF somewhere. But anyways, oh yeah, yellow flag up here, and looks like it was maybe an AlphaTauri up there at the end of sector 2. I don't know, but there were yellow flags on the mini map. 3 minutes left in the session as all the drivers are going to try to set that final lap, and they're crossing their fingers that the track has dried out just a small amount. Visually, to me, it does look like that the rain has let up a bit. This Ferrari-powered Haas is looking really strong as Dark Knight is the first one to set his final lap, a 1:49.09, puts him dead center in the middle of the field. I'm curious, is Luke on a lap right now? DRS is enabled, so this track is really dry. Holy moly, that is crazy. This track is dry. For race control to decide to have ERS enabled, it's got to be not raining anymore. So these intermediate tires might actually be interesting here. This dry track. Luke Burns set to 152. Nico Mania set to 148.4. Really competitive time. Uh-oh. Looks like Virus is going to run into some yellow flags here. Oh, and he's into the wall. It's a big incident here. A Red Bull goes flying. Holy moly. Wow. What in the world just happened there? A massive incident sees 5 or 6 cars into the wall. Invite. Yeah, I invited you. You should have it in your notifications. Simone. Wow, just this graveyard of cars. We got a Haas on the left. Looks like a Alpha in the wall glitching out of it, but Virus says he wasn't faster. Yeah. Well, as long as... Do they think it's Flight Simulator? Yeah, that Red Bull really went airborne here. And it looks like Nick is... Yeah, Nick does not have his front wing here, so this, ladies and gentlemen, will be your grid for this race as the time on qualifying dwindles down. That massive incident at the end. I don't know if Nick could have grabbed pole position, but I mean, that incident pretty much cursed him. And he's going to limp his way back into the pits. It's completely dry now, says Virus. Yeah, so it looks like we're going to have a dry race. Virus was smart to run that dry setup. I'm curious as to if other drivers opted for the wet or dry setup. Obviously, with the dry setup, you compromise on qualifying, but you should be quick in the race. But for Virus, there was no compromise as he gets first place. First place here. Oh, looks like we have some AIs loaded in. Maybe I can fix that. As time on qualifying goes down. It's a really, really great job from these drivers. And that last incident was interesting. And so, with that, as we're riding along with Dark Knight here, that is qualifying complete. Looks like Virus will be in pole position here. Here's our full grid. Virus down to Nick. I mean, a second and a half on a dry setup is really just unheard of. That is incredible. Wow, what a great job by Virus. Nick Verhaars in the Renault will be starting to his right. Two Dutch drivers really flexing their muscles here, followed by Pease, Custers, Nicomania, Kella, Batboy representing Turkey, Dark Knight representing Mexico, Junior, Milan, Luke Burns, and then finally King Kiski. Just, I guess, couldn't really find the pace here, but I mean, with this dry race, anything could happen. We're just waiting for cars to load in here. All set up on the grid. Looks like Illuminate managed to join up. That's good. I can't invite anyone from this menu. So as of now, if you don't have an invite, then unfortunately you are going to be missing out on the race this week. But do not worry. Do not fret. There will be plenty of racing action for you in the future. As we got 20 seconds to the start of this 2020 VRL Vietnamese Grand Prix. Illuminate representing the Racing Point team. He'll be the one Racing Point in the lobby today. Again, starting from the back of the grid because of some either technical difficulties or just missing the time. But as our session timer expires, cars on the grid. 5 red lights. And we are underway at Vietnam. It looks like it's a really good getaway for Virus. Nick as well. Illuminate is going to make up a few places, but it's Virus into turn 1. They're 4 wide. Little contact there. Carbon fiber flying in the background and a yellow flag. And Nick is just falling down the order. This is really unfortunate here. The Williams of Pease goes up the inside. But it's Virus already busting out a 1-second lead. Wow. As we see more incidents in the background, even more carbon fire flying. Dark Knight and Kustra going at it. Pease and the Williams kind of finding his pace as they come around this first hairpin. Where's formation lap? Oh, we did not have a formation lap, I guess, today. And really impressive start for Illuminate. Starting from dead last, managing to make up 5 positions. He's going to go around the Renault of Nick Verhaars. We'll see how this move pairs out here. Really brave here. Into the braking zone. Oh, he's into the back of a Mercedes. Oh, and it looks like Nick is going to get through. I wonder if there's any front wing damage there. Oh, the Ferrari's into the wall. The Ferrari of King Kiski was way too bold on the brakes there. Starting from last on the grid. Wanted to make up some places, but now he's in trouble. We got cars bouncing off the wall. And up front, somehow, Virus is in the pits. Virus is pitting. He must have picked up some damage on the lap or something. Oh my goodness. And now Kella, who started from the middle of the grid, has now inherited the race lead. He's on the soft tires. Looks like Custer's will also be on the soft. Most of the grid on the red soft tires, and Junior is the first medium runner. Virus, Nico, Luke, Milan, and Dark Knight are all in the pits. These are all competitors for the championship. And, so, I mean, this is unbelievable. As we see, looks like Nick, Nico, and Dark Knight have all gone into the hard tires, and King Kiski has DNF'd here. Really unfortunate. And we have a VSC out on the track. All of this within 2 laps. It is absolutely crazy here at the Vietnamese Grand Prix. As our cars are all going to form up now. So now, the field is really mixed up on strategy here. We have 2 hard runners, 4 medium runners, and it looks like 6 runners on the soft. So we're going to have some staggered pit stops here. It's going to be really, really curious to see what happens. Illuminate gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. He had such a good start, but, I mean, to be honest, he was very reckless off the start here. I guess desperate to get started. Start from the back of the grid. Unfortunate for him, but DRS has been enabled as we are on lap 3. But Illuminate's going to have to serve that penalty eventually. Now, everyone in the chat right now, let me know if you think that Virus has what it takes to get back in this race. It's currently 28 seconds down on the next person as Luke Burns ducks into the pit, so that's a position there for Virus. Looks like he's going to get a new front wing and new, fresh, soft tires. So Virus and Nick Verhaars both grab a spot there. AMCF says he went on thought. I don't know. Those soft tires are probably going to be pretty darn quick. So we'll see. As it looks like we are out of our virtual safety car. And Custer's has really closed up to Kella. That gap was even about a second on lap 2. But looks like the AlphaTauri is keeping it close. He'll be in the slipstream here, heading into the S section, and I think this area is where most of the incidents are going to happen. If you go wheel to wheel through this section, someone's going to end up in a barrier. Looks like all the cars below Illuminate are actually a lap down, so it's a big task for those guys. And it looks like it's going to be Kella and Custers out in front, kind of leading the pack here. Bat Boy in the Red Bull and Total Peas in the Williams behind them, but these guys are really showing them who's boss around Vietnam. It's a glitchy, yeah, that makes sense, because there's only a 16-second gap to Junior. And the Alfa Romeo. Well, you guys said that you didn't think Virus could make up that gap, but he just went purple. So he's going to have to claw his way back into this race. As who's this ducking into the pits? Is this Luke Burns? Yes, Luke Burns is into the pits. Is that his second time in? Dark Knight gets a 3-second time penalty. Looks like Luke is going to have to fit a new wing. Switches from hard tires to soft. And he's away here. Now Dark Knight, I don't actually know what that penalty was for. Could have been for corner cutting. But it looks like that Milan is going to be... Oh my goodness, we have another virtual safety car. Who is it this time? Looks like Illuminate does not have a wing. So unfortunately Illuminate might have been involved in another incident here. Wow. Absolutely crazy race to start off this F3 season. And let me see if I can see what car was involved in that virtual safety car. But I mean, I assume it was Illuminate because he's lacking front wing. Custers gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And the leaders are all taking advantage of this virtual safety car by pitting. They have confidence in their abilities. And the person that this really benefits is Virus. Virus is going to milk those tires. He's going to make sure that the tire wear doesn't build up. He's going to save fuel in ERS. And, oh, never mind, as he ducks it into the pits. This is a really interesting race. Turn tires on? Yeah, do you want them on? They can be on for the whole time, but I guess they'll be on for now. So Kella's on fresh hards. Milan is the only one who hasn't made a pit stop, and he's in P9. So that's really strange. He might have pitted on opening lap, to be honest. Oh no, was that a wheelie that just spun? Yes, Peace has spun on that hairpin. Oh, and he's in the wall when he tries to flip it around. Looks like he lost a wing here for Peace. As Custers comes through, this could get interesting. Let's see if Junior makes it around him cleanly. He does. But that's really unfortunate for Peace here. Loses his front wing in an unforced error. He was not racing anyone. Wow. Dark Knight is in the pits again. This race is absolutely wild, guys. And now Bat Boy is in the lead by more than 11 seconds, and he just made a pit stop. Incredible stuff from Bat Boy. Oh my goodness. Now, yeah, Bad Boy, 11-second lead. He is literally and figuratively in the driver's seat of this Grand Prix. This is incredible stuff from Bat Boy. I don't know if he pitted or how many times he pitted, as we have a yellow flag in Sector 3. And Illuminate is out. He didn't. He started from the back of the grid. He made up some positions on that first lap, but he caused a huge incident in that final sector. Lost a front wing a couple of laps later, and well, that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. So we have 2 DNFs as of now, and Pease goes out. Pease is out of this Grand Prix. I have no idea what happened, but we now have a total of 10 runners. Incredible. And Bat Boy is just extending that gap. More than 4 seconds. More than 4 seconds of an extension. And he is just cruising. As I see Junior in the Alfa Romeo putting together a really good race, but he's 16 seconds behind. At this point, Bat Boy might even be able to get in a pit stop, but he's on fresh soft, so he won't even need to stop. He'll be stopping around lap 15 or 16, and he can just go into some mediums and probably bring it till the end of the race. I think he's gone soft, medium as of now. But he's just going to bring those tires up to temperature. This track is going to dry out, and I just think he's going to get faster and faster and faster. Yeah, Bodevine says, rip total peas. Indeed. Indeed, that's really unfortunate. Well, even though Bad Boy's in the lead by more than 17 seconds, that isn't to say that the midfield battle is getting interesting, as Nico Mania goes around the outside of Virus in a fantastic move. Let's see if Virus can have anything to say about it into the hairpin. Looks like he's got the inside into this turn. Does this Ferrari have the power? And it looks like he makes a move stick. Nico Mania is going to follow him in here. Great racing from Virus. Nico had that spot originally, but just couldn't get the traction around the outside. Especially with Virus on the medium tires and Nico on the hards.
On this game, I found that getting these hard tires up to temperature and getting some pace into them is incredibly difficult. And especially with these overcast conditions, this track is going to be relatively cold. So our runners on the hard tires might struggle. As of now, that's only Kella and Nicomania, but as this race goes on, I'm curious to see what the track temperature does. Did Junior get disconnected? Oh, is that a ghost? Alright, well, I think Junior is now a ghost. Can I? Oh, I can invite right from here? No, I don't think I can't invite mid-race. I mean, I can, but I don't know if you guys will be able to just load right in. So it looks like Junior's disconnected. That might explain for the lack of pace here. But Bad Boy's just cruising, and I think that is a glitch on his tires. He has obviously not been on them for 0 laps, but it is what it is. Oh, invite him. Oh, yeah. No, let me see if it's in players mat. I just need to get what Junior spent. Okay, Junior with a 0. All right, invite friends. Sorry guys, some technical difficulties here. All right, Junior, if you're watching, you should have gotten the invite. Yeah, and it looks like the Junior is just joined back. So, yeah, of course, no problem. So now, I mean, he's got a 22-second gap to Bad Boy. Let's see what he can do here. And Custer's about 3 seconds behind him, but Bad Boy's just absolutely cruising, totally in control of this race. And Nick Verhaars in that Renault is about 4 seconds behind as Bad Boy is gonna pit. So Junior, if there was any time for Junior to push, it would be now. You're gonna lose about 22 to 25 seconds on a pit stop. So depending on how this stop is, we could see a new leader. All right, we're gonna follow along with Bad Boy and Junior here. Junior's gonna round the final corner here. Bad Boy's not out of the pit lane. Pit limiter is off now. Here comes Junior. This is going to be really, really close. Looks like Bad Boy keeps position, so a free pit stop for Bad Boy. And I mean, it's still more than a 5-second gap, so it is going to be a big test here. Do I need to send Junior another invite? Is that... Oh, my battery's low. Is that what's going on here? Because I can, that's fine, but... Alright, well that invite should have gone through, so... Yeah, it looks like he's ghosted now, but... That's not him. That was like... That was... Junior Spam L2. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was his account. I don't really know... I'll try it one more time here, but... This is gonna need to push. Yeah, can someone confirm that Junior got the invite?
Cause yeah, Junior spam L2. That's him. So. And we just missed that mesh. Yes, he got it. Okay, perfect. Sorry. Yeah. All right. Just trying to make sure that everyone can stay in this race. Now, I saw a message that's saying pit window is open, but I don't know exactly what tire that is for. I guess we will see when people start dipping into the pits. No visible damage to his car, so it looks like he'll be able to continue as normal. No, it's okay. Don't worry about spamming, it's fine. I don't really know why it says 17 laps for Milan. This race has only been going on for 10, so... Yeah, the tires, I don't really know what's going on. I think Bat Boy's tires are 2 laps old. I'm gonna turn the tires off for now, just because it's not really telling us the truth. We can see all the pit stops here. Yeah. I'll turn them on when you guys want me to, like if you're curious to see. Looks like the 2-stop strategy for the softs is currently the pit window is open for that. As Junior ducks into the pits, I think if we go ahead and look at pit stop, not gaps, pit stops. Junior has not pitted, so there's Junior in his first pit stop. He'll be going from mediums to a pair of, can't really see, another pair of medium tires, looks like. As we have a yellow flag in Sector 3. New front wing for Junior. No, he'll be emerging on the soft tire, actually. And then the McLaren of Kella is also ducking into the pits. Kella was in the lead of this race at one point, but he's fallen down a bit. Bit of a glitch on that front wing replacement, but it's alright. The McLaren boys get it done, and he emerges in 9th place. Now, interesting enough, all drivers today will receive points, seeing as there's only 10 drivers left. See how this goes. Yeah, Junior will do medium, soft, soft. That makes sense. Two-stop strategy. Sorry, around this track is pretty powerful. But Bat Boy is just flexing the muscles. And Custer's is just trying to catch him, but it's just I don't know what's going on. I mean, Bat Boy's, they're on the same tires. I think they stopped around the same time, and Custer certainly has good pace, but he just cannot catch them. As we see all the gaps here, even the midfield is stretched out a bit. The only real battle in the midfield is going to be between Junior and Nico. Junior into the wall. Pretty hard there. Curious to see if there's any damage. But he'll have DRS on this back straight. Oh, actually he won't. That rear wing is not open. That right end plate might have picked up a bit of damage after hitting off that wall, but Junior chases on as Milan Kustra ducks it into the pits. It's going to be a fresh pair of hards for him and a new front wing as well, so teams are just tearing through these front wings. As Milan is going to get jumped by everybody here and emerge in last place. So a big task ahead of him. He's going to emerge right behind the Mercedes of Dark Knight. The pit exit here is a bit weird. It kind of flings you onto that first corner and it makes the battles a lot closer. I thought Dark Knight was going to be well past him when he exited the pits, but Milan's actually close enough for DRS here. As we'll see if he tries to make a move on Dark Knight. Let's see, Custers, Nick, Virus, and Junior got around Nico, I guess. But the top four are kind of just
separated by, you know, a pretty sizable gap as Virus clocks up against the wall. Turn tires on again? Sure. Yeah, just keep in mind that those those numbers are pretty inaccurate. Custer's has not put 19 laps on those medium tires. And there's no real battles emerging. Junior is starting to create a gap back to Nico. Two Alpha Tauris doing relatively well. But again, Bat Boy just more than 10 seconds back to Custer's. And it just, at this point, it's just hard to see Custer's making a comeback. He just doesn't seem to be gaining any time. His pace is good compared to the rest of the field. I mean, the gap to Nick has stayed relatively the same. Although, as I say that, you see Nick pop into frame, and he's a lot closer than he was before. Now only a 2-second gap back to Nick Verhaars. At this rate, he might have DRS in the next couple of laps. This middle of the race stage is always a bit of a lull as cars are just kind of in a race of their own. They're in clean air. But as you see, behind Custer's on the straightaway, Nick is lurking, just waiting for Custer's to make a mistake. Change the gap to each drive. Yeah, I can change the gap to driver. Yeah, gap, interval. There we go. Nick, now within 2 seconds, he seems to be gaining a bit on the straights. Maybe the AlphaTauri's down on power a bit, but I mean now it creeps up, it jumps up to 1.5 there through that hairpin section. Now they're on this endless back straight here at Vietnam. And I mean, Custer's is gonna see Nick in his rearview mirrors here, and he might start freaking out a bit. He's barreling down at him on this back straight. He gained about 2/10 in this back straight alone, but looks like Custer's is gonna get out of it unscathed. It looks like at the rear end of it, Luke and Milan are getting into it a little bit. This papaya orange Mercedes against the brooding Red Bull. Milan and Batboy have had polar opposite races. Batboy's just been, from the jump, he's been dominant. Milan, you know, you expect more pace out of a guy like him, but he's settled into 9th place, but he's got Milan Kustra threatening, or he's got Luke threatening him. He's going to be within DRS, and with that back straight, the amount of room it has, I mean, it's just so hard to defend. He doesn't even need DRS. He's going to get around him. They're both going to get DRS off of Dark Knight, excuse me. Oh my goodness! Luke had to swerve to the right to avoid Dark Knight, who braked early for that turn, or maybe Luke braked late, but Milan says, "Thank you very much," and just grabs that position right back. We're gonna ride along with Luke through this final sector, which is just so hard to nail down, but if you get it right, the car just flows so nicely through it, and you gain a boatload of time. But it looks like Milan's actually faster through that section than Luke is, so it's interesting to see. They're going to be in a bit of a DRS trade here, so Milan's going to get DRS off of Dark Knight, and Luke's going to get DRS off of Milan, so not a lot of time is going to be gained in the straights. But if we jump back up to our leaders, Nick Verhaars is doing a fantastic job of closing that gap to Custer's. Now a little over a second. If he can gain some time through this last sector, we might see him get within the DRS range. Really, really fantastic job from him here. Great recovery drive. Unfortunate start for Nick. Didn't really qualify where he wanted to, and the start of the race didn't go super well, but He's in the slipstream. He'll probably have overtake going. And let's ride along with him as he tries to chase down Custers here. It's going to be a tall task. Custers is, you know, showing pace all day. But, I mean, does he have DRS? He may have he does not have DRS here, but if you look at the intervals, he is within a second. He gains almost a tenth in that corner, so it's looking good for Nick. As they pass the deer, oh my goodness, Nick is too anxious on the throttle and he slams against that left wall. That left front wing might not have liked that very much, but he's gonna lose about 2/10 here. And Dark Knight has ducked it into the pits. Might have picked up some damage, or I mean, if that stat is accurate, those mediums are 10 laps old, so you know, maybe a little conservative, but we'll see. He's gonna duck it into the first pit box here. Oh, yep, they are gonna replace that front wing, put on some fresh medium tires, and get him on his way. At least one person. What's the top tip? Bat Boy again, just not making mistakes. And as we see here, might have a little sun peeking through here. Yeah, it does look like that this track is a little sunny as we've seen it glinting off that beautiful Alpha Tauri of Custers. We're going to ride along with Nick again. No DRS here, but he'll try to do it in a straight line. This Renault engine has a bit of a performance advantage against this Honda. Of course, with equal performance, that really might not matter, but as we round this final corner, look at the interval. He's only about 9/10 behind here, so Nick will get DRS here on this long back straight. Does not look like he has overtake mode going, and he might even be in, not in rich mix, but in lean mix. But he's going to gain 2/10 now, 3/10 now, heavy braking, and he's going to be right on the tail of Custers. Oh my goodness. And if they keep battling, then Virus could just make his way into the conversation. We'll keep an eye on those intervals, but as of now, Nick Verhars is mounting a charge at Custers here. What strategy are people on? To be honest, I don't know. Those tires are glitched, unfortunately, so we don't actually know how long they've been on. But what we can do is look at how many pit stops they've made. We have 2 runners who have made 3 stops already. Bat Boy, Custers, Luke, or not Luke, Nick, Junior, and Nico Mania have all made 1 stop. Milan and Kella have made 2. Oh, and Virus as well has made 2. But it's interesting to see how this played out. And bad news for Nick Verhars. On the interval, he's a half-second down with DRS, but for multiple corner cutting warnings, that's going to get him a 3-second time penalty. So if he wants to get the second place position, he's going to have to make a 3-second gap to Custers at race's end. I'm curious if we can go into race. Yeah, we can go to race director. Oh my goodness, look at the Kella has gone medium, soft, hard, medium. Luke's gone medium, soft, soft, medium. Medium, soft, medium, hard, and medium, hard. Dark Knight has gone medium, hard, medium, medium. That is crazy. As I'm looking at the race director, Nick breezes his way past Custers. That was a great move. Do you have, Bootvine says, do you have much dirty air around this track? Yeah, if you're racing other people, you're going to be in that dirty air. That's why that Bat Boy's created that big of a gap, because he's been in clean air this whole time. And Nick is going to dive into the pits. Custers will follow. Let's see if there's any speeding penalty. There is not. This pit lane's very tricky. I had a speeding penalty. Oh my goodness, never mind. Virus behind them as a 5-second speeding penalty. Really unfortunate. I picked up a speeding penalty in my team career here in the pit lane. This is pretty tricky to slow down. And Nick is going to hold up that AlphaTauri a bit. Oh my goodness, did that AlphaTauri get held up by the Haas? I believe it did. That's really unfortunate from Custers. Just the timing of the pit stops just didn't really work out. Stop playing with the system. Shouldn't you be like focusing on racing? That's funny. Custers in the chat saying stop playing with the system. And you should probably be focusing on the track. It looks like Virus and Custers are gonna go at it here. Two very talented drivers, but Virus is gonna kind of make his way around Custers there. Custers not putting up much of a fight because he knows that both Nick and Virus have time penalties. So Custers knows that there's no risk fighting someone and risking a collision. As we see that Junior and Nick are gonna kind of go at it here. I don't believe that Junior has any penalties against his name, so he might be in second place here as Nick. I mean, Bat Boy takes a free pit stop, says thank you very much. There's a 30-second gap. Curious to see what it looks like at the end, but he's going to go into soft tires here, and this will see him out towards the rest of the race. And I mean, Nick is just nowhere to be seen. Nick makes his way around Junior, and Nick's now got some clean air, which is going to be good for him. It will be, as we see that gap dwindle down, about a 10-second gap from Nick to Bat Boy. So, I mean, I just don't see. Custer's dad says stop switching the system. So, you know what, Custer's his dad. Your son is doing such a great job that, you know what, we'll keep it like this. Speaking of Custer's, is within a second of Virus here. He has DRS into that first DRS zone. Oh my. Custer's dad is not going to want to see that as he picks up a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. It's really difficult to nail down that section here without taking up a lot of curb, but Custer's just overdoes it a bit. He is desperate to get ahead of Virus here. He will have DRS. Oh my good, look how quickly this AlphaTauri Honda catches up to him. Virus defends well though. He keeps that Haas in front of him. Well done from both drivers there. Braking at the right time to avoid any collisions as Virus locks up into that corner. Might compromise his run into these high-speed sections. Both drivers at the limit here, really pushing it around these high-speed corners. My favorite part of the track, personally. They flow incredibly well. Another lock up there for Virus as Nick sets the fastest lap. So, if you're Nick, you're trying to cash down Bat Boy, a purple lap is going to give you a lot of confidence. But 12 seconds within 7 laps, that's just incredibly tricky here. Yeah, Bovine. Virus is definitely a super duper quick driver. Really showing his stuff here. All these racers are incredibly fast. For an F3 field, this is as good as you're gonna get. These guys are just incredibly competitive, and really maximize their driving every single weekend. It's really fun to see them race at such a high level. Unfortunately, this race, if this race was rainy, I think it would be more competitive. But with Bat Boy's dominance in the dry, he's killing it. As we're still riding along with Nick here. Let's revisit our midfield. And Custers and Virus are still going at it. A little touch here. A little friendly tap. Rubbin's racing though. This Custers is on his tail. It's really great to see these two go at it. Two of the best in F3. Really competitive. As Nick set the fastest lap the previous lap, but Bat Boy says, no, I'm going to extend my lead, and he sets a flying purple lap. Really good stuff. Custer's is going to maybe have a go at Virus here under DRS, but he really just does not gain that much time. I'm curious to see if Custer's is saving fuel or ERS, because it just looks like that the Haas of Virus just has the power in the straights, and maybe that Alpha Tower is lacking a little bit. But I don't know. We'll see. Into the DRS zone here. This long run in this first of 3 DRS. Well, I guess the main straight is technically the first and last DRS zone, depending on what lap you're on. So we're going to ride on board here with Custer's. DRS open. Again, he gains so quickly here, but it might be too little too late. Virus defends, makes Custer slow down a lot there, and wow, that's risky from Virus there. Really, really tricky, and if you're Custer's, you're thinking, uh-oh. Be a shame if I would hate to see an accident between these two. Lock up from both drivers here. If any of these guys DNF, it would just be so unfortunate because they've had such great races here. Five laps remaining here in this Vietnamese Grand Prix, and Bat Boy is pretty much led from the start. Well, maybe there were 2 laps where Bat Boy wasn't leading, but with some DNFs and some incidents, some broken wings, many pit stops later, and Bat Boy is just comfortably in the lead. And Nick is holding down second place pretty well, about an 8-second gap back to Virus. But the battle that everyone's eyes on, or that battle for the 3rd and final podium position, between 2 very talented drivers, Custer's and Virus. Here we are on that back straight that Custer seems to gain a lot of time on. DRS wide open into this hairpin. Gaining, but it just looks like it will not be enough here into the braking zone. As Milan Kutstra picks up a corner cutting warning, but in 9th place that won't matter too much. Wow, Custer's just pushing it to the limit here, doing everything he can to get in front of Iris. But I do believe that Custer's does have a time penalty for corner cutting. Too many corner cutting warnings, so he will have to, if he does manage to get past Virus, I mean, he's going to have to build a 3-second gap as we see some tire carcass flying from Virus's car. Let's ride around with Nick Verhaars for a second in that Renault DP World car. Just kind of in a league of its own. He's just lapped Milan Kutstra. See in the background, Milan had to duck into the pits. He also picked up a time penalty on that same lap. But yeah, Nick's just kind of cruising. Probably in the same mindset as Bat Boy right now. Just if you don't make any mistakes, that second place is pretty much a lock, as Virus is about 10 seconds back. Everyone in the chat, I'd love to hear your opinions of the circuit itself, seeing as there won't be an F1 races here. Do you guys think it'll be good in real life? Do you like it on the game? Do you hate it? Oh my goodness, as I say, Nick shouldn't make any mistakes and he'll be fine. He just slams it into the wall. And curious to see if he goes in for a new wing. Actually, to the naked eye, it does not look like there's any damage to that wing. But yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on this Vietnam Grand Prix circuit? I think it's really fun to drive in the game, and I think I'm interested to see how it works out in real life next year. I did say that it didn't look like there was much damage to Nick's car, but it does look like he's struggling with downforce a little bit. Oh my goodness, was that it? Yes, I think the end plate just flew off back there. Yep, if you look at the right side of his wing, there was no end plate. That translates to, I think, yellow damage on his MFD, so... Virus, incredibly, could be staring down a second place finish here with this broken front wing. And it's gonna be tricky through. He's gonna have to really lift through this high-speed section coming up after this hairpin, because downforce is so necessary through that section. But like I said, it'll be interesting to see if he ducks into the pits or not. But we'll see. We will see as he enters this right-hander here. Dark Knight ahead of him. Lap traffic. If Nick does approach him, he will be showing blue flags. Oh, we're going to ride on board here through this high-speed section. Well, he made it through the flat-out corners, so now he's just going to manage his way around. He does not pit. So maybe Nick knows something I don't. Maybe the damage doesn't look too bad when he looks at his MFD, but this is interesting. I figured he would have pitted for a new fresh wing, because if he did pit... Oh, whoops. Don't want to ride along with Milan Kustra, but if he did pit for a new front wing, he wouldn't emerge that far ahead. He wouldn't emerge that far behind, sorry. If I do my math right, he'll probably pop out behind Junior, which isn't terrible. But no reason to pit. I thought he had front wing damage. Yeah, his front right end plate. I guess with 3 laps left, there's no point in losing all that time. Yeah, you're right, because he couldn't make that time back. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it doesn't even look like his time loss is that bad. I mean, Virus might be gaining a 10th a lap or something like that, but honestly, it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. As Virus is going to run into lap traffic here with Milan Kustra. Hopefully he just gets out of the way. Would be a shame to see an incident with lap traffic. That's never fun to watch. But Milan will be showed the blue flags here. Big lockup for Virus, but... Yep, as Milan just takes the outside line, lets him through nice and easy. Our 2 Mercedes, 7 and 8, our Alfa Romeo. And it looks like Bat Boy is headed towards that hairpin, so he'll begin his final lap in about 30 seconds. Oh, and a Sector 1 yellow here. What is going on there? Oh no, and Milan Kustra is DNF'd. I mean, insult to injury for Milan Kustra. He was not having a great race. Not at all. Unfortunate to see, though. Hopefully some of these drivers down here, that DNF, Milan, Pease was having a great race. That was a shame to see him DNF. He just spun it. And then lost some front wing, didn't have any downforce. Illuminate and King Kiski. I'm interested to see if they can, you know, redeem themselves in next week's race, maybe get their feet underneath them a bit. As Kella ducks it in on the second to last lap, it'll be his last lap. Or no, it won't. It's his second to last lap, but he's gonna pit anyway. I don't know if he had bad front wing damage. Looking at the time gap, Kella, I think that Luke Burns might jump Kella here, as we actually hear him fly by there. If you have your volume up. And Dark Knight's coming as well, so I mean, this could be interesting. Dark Knight's coming around the last corner. This is for an extra point, of course, so valuable in this championship. but it does look like that the Mercedes of Kella is going to emerge in front. We are on the final lap of the 2020 VRL F3 Vietnamese Grand Prix, and it has been Bad Boy from start to finish. He has been absolutely dominant, and I'm excited to get his thoughts about it as this race ends. From Bad Boy, we have Luke Verhaars. Again, great race. The battle between these, actually, the top four here, I think will be in the running for the Drivers' Championship. Really, really impressive stuff from them. Sorry, just had to yawn real quick. Custer showed some good pace, but in the end fell off a bit. Same with Virus. Virus was running a dry setup in intermediate conditions in qualifying and ended up out-qualifying everyone by about a second and a half. But the race pace, curiously enough, just, you know, it was there, but Bad Boy just kind of took control. He's going to run into some lap traffic here. A last corner crash with the left car. That'd be hilarious, but it looks like, barring anything absolutely ridiculous, Bad Boy is going to bring it home. Blue flag's out for Kella. And Bad Boy is going to come across the line and win your VRL F3 2020 Vietnamese Grand Prix by 16 seconds. Incredible stuff here from Bad Boy. Really, really great racing from him. Nick Verhaars is going to take that second spot on the podium. And barring a spin out or DSQ, Virus is going to be your third place sitter. So you, oh my goodness, Virus does pick up a 5. Oh my goodness, what was the gap at the end of it? 3.5. Believe it or not. Oh my goodness, there was a Virus had a drive-through penalty that he did not serve. And the gap, there's a 5-second penalty, and the final gap between him and Custer's was 3.5 seconds. If my calculations are correct, I think that Custer's might have somehow grabbed third place. As we wait for our last finisher here, Luke Burns coming across the line. Or almost coming across the line as he completes his lap. Through the high-speed section, he's a minute 42 to finish, but he will. Kella and Dark Knight were finished early because they were not on their final lap by the time that Bat Boy crossed the line. But our final runner will be across the line in about 10 seconds, and we wrap up this Grand Prix. I'm very curious to see how the penalties play into this. If Custer's had a penalty, then it wouldn't really matter, as Nick gives a little swerve across the line. But we will see as the music plays and concludes our first race. Luke Burns grabs driver of the day here. Yeah, Virus, there was quite a lot of damage here as Bad Boy hits a little dance here. We're going to skip that real quick, but yeah, Virus, those guys did seem to cause a lot of damage. Virus will retain third place because of a 5-second penalty to Custer's. If Custer's had not had a penalty, where are the stewards? They'll be on it. They'll be on it. I'm sure they will look back at those decisions and see if any penalty points or time penalties will be assessed. Fantastic race by everyone today. Milan finished up 3 laps down, 2 laps down for Dark Knight and Kella. And then Nick finished 19 seconds off. We will talk to your 3 podium sitters in about a minute. We'll get them in here, get their thoughts. I'm sure Virus might have some choice words for Illuminate and Kella, but we will see you then. I'll just wait for the timer to run down, because I don't know if exiting will do anything. Matthias says Hupsem Jansen. I do not know what that means, but Hupsem Jansen, is that Dutch or Danish? I don't really know.
All right, let me see if I can get our podium sitters into a party here. That was, I believe, who was it? It was Nick, Virus, and Batboy. So I'll just go ahead and invite them. I'm just sending them their party invites. So Virus gets the invite. Nick will get the invite. Hold on, let me. Is this Virus? Hello. Hi. Tough one for you today, huh? Yeah. Yeah, and then yeah.
And Illuminate. I don't know what these guys were doing, but they cost me the race, and
Yeah.
it's just.
Alright, I'm just gonna invite the other podium sitters here and see if we can get their thoughts on the race. Yeah, I mean sometimes in F1 there's obviously incidents like that, but I'm sure the stewards are gonna take a look at that. Yeah, yeah. If you, oh, looks like we got Nick in here. Hello, Nick. Yeah, good evening. Good. It's a good noon for me. Or what time is it for me? It's 2:30 for me, but I guess it's a little later for you guys. Yeah. Let's see. Who was the last one? Was it oh, it was Batboy, wasn't it? Yeah. Yep. All right. So all in all, solid race for you guys. Podiums. Obviously, you'll take it. But I was curious some of your thoughts on how the race went, especially strategy-wise, because through that race. Yeah, through that race we saw.
Hello?
Yeah, Batboy, I hear you. Yeah, so I was just asking the other boys, well, how did you choose your strategy for this race, and when things kind of went wrong, what were the thoughts for when to make pit stops and what tires to go onto? I guess we'll start with our race winner, Batboy.
Yes, first of all, my strategy was soft, medium, soft. I wanted to pit at lap 8 for the softs. And then for lap 4 I saw the two leaders going into the pits with the virtual safety car, and
yeah.
I thought it was way too early, so I stayed out, and it worked perfectly for me.
Yeah, I mean that gave you what, a 12-second gap right off the bat,
Yeah.
so that's you'll always take that. So Virus, you pitted under virtual safety car. What was the decision with that?
The strategy was not good. It was ruined by the back markers, by the other guys. I had a good strategy, but when I got damaged the first lap, then it was just already ruined. I couldn't do anything about it, so.
Yep. Now, Virus, I want to talk to you about your qualifying session, because you just seemed far and away faster than everyone else, amazingly on a dry setup. So how did you come to that decision to use that dry setup in order to be faster in the race?
I don't really know where I found the grip, to be honest.
Yeah.
I got the outside lines most of the time, and that worked really well. So I don't know how that went well, but it got good out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you make that decision, you'll be faster in the race, but sometimes qualifying is damn near impossible. And then Nick, a nice second place for you. Did you use the strategy you were planning to use on at the beginning of the race, or did you have to make some changes?
I got damage in lap 1 because I got hit from behind. So I had to pit in lap 1, and then the mediums could last very long.
Yeah.
So I thought, why not just go from medium to soft, and it worked.
Yeah. All right. Well, as our front three for the standings as of now, all of you obviously have championship aspirations. I wish you the best of luck. I think that's kind of all for now. I'll see you next weekend for our next race. All right. Yeah, thank you guys so much.
podium, right?
Yeah, all the Dutch boys really dominated today, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, me, Luke, and Bad Boy.
And Bad Boy,
Were,
yeah.
3 Dutch boys.
They got what it takes apparently. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
Next
probably.
week our
Yeah.
home Grand Prix.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, we
next
got
week, home Grand Prix.
we have Zandvoort
Looking
next
forward.
week. Yeah, another new track, another track we haven't. Oh, that was the one last question I was going to ask you. How'd you guys approach preparing for this? Because obviously, first time this track's been on the calendar. Was a lot of time trial, or did you do Grand Prix? What was the preparation for this?
In Zandvoort, I did really much time trial laps. The most I did was 50 laps, but it got really well for me. I got I don't know what the lap time was, but 28 in the time trial leaderboard of the world. So that's really good.
Yeah.
lap time.
28th in the world. Wow, that's
Yeah,
That's-
Vietnam I was 5th in the world. That was even better. But
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, didn't pay off in the race.
Yeah,
That
no,
was
it's
unfortunate.
yeah. Things that you see, you don't have to deal with that in time trial. You just put times in, but anything can happen in the race. All right, well,
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for sitting down with me, and I'll see you next weekend.
Yeah,
Bye.
you too.
All right, bye. Thanks so much.
Bye.
All right, guys, and for VRL, that's going to be the end of the stream today. Thank you so much for coming along for us. Thank you so much for watching the race with us, being along with me. My first time with this. I had a great time, and I will see you later. Let me just see.